Hey there, welcome. Welcome to Rise and Receive. This is an opportunity in your day to stop whatever you're doing and take a little time to explore how to receive fulfillment in your life by unlearning struggle. So today we are focusing on fulfilling relationships, 3 keys to surpass your limits. And this is number 3 of 3 trainings on this subject where we're talking about different blind spots and pain points that actually reinforce your limits around what it is that you want in a relationship so that you can dissolve those upper limits with ease, speed, and what I call the beyond factor, beyond your wildest dreams, your greatest imaginations. I am really passionate about helping people understand the cause of their upper limits, why it is that they get stuck, and how to go beyond that. So today we're talking about blind spot number 3. And let me just do a little bit of a review. What I've been doing is on Monday, I addressed blind spot number 1, which is what I call the doing blind spot. And I'll include links to all of the past videos above and below, depending if you're on Facebook or YouTube. And with the doing blind spot that we illuminated, you started to connect with how it is to go from your upper limits being a hard issue, a hard work issue where you feel stuck, to moving into greater ease. Our second video in this mini training addressed blind spot number 2, which is the faulty focus blind spot. And we talked about how when you're focused on the wrong thing regarding relationships, it can make things feel like they're always off in the distance. So any progress feels slow. And this illuminated blind spot, once you start to see things correctly, allows you to tap into greater speed, where you move into right here and now, rather someday off in the future. Today we're going to talk about another blind spot, and this one is where we tap into how to experience fulfillment in your relationships beyond your current limits, because we're all about dissolving upper limits, surpassing your limits. So this is the beyond factor. And if you're just joining me today for the first time, what I invite you to do, and maybe you're here for part 3, either live or on the video, allow yourself to just take a moment to think about, where is it that you feel limited in what you want regarding relationships? Whether you're wanting to manifest a fulfilling primary relationship, a romantic partnership, or maybe it's some challenge or struggle that you're experiencing with family or kind of your inner circle, friends, maybe it's work relationships. Maybe you would just simply like to have a higher caliber, a more rewarding experience in your friendships, your platonic friendships. Wherever it is that you feel limited and you don't know how to go beyond that, then just kind of let that awareness be here, because what we're going to unpack today will be particularly useful. And I want to talk a little bit about my intention with these trainings and what you can expect. Excuse me. So the whole reason I'm doing these mini trainings is I love a fresh new year. And so we have an opportunity now, as we are wrapping up October at the time of this recording, moving into the last 2 months of 2021, to start bringing closure and to start clearing the slate for fresh new possibilities. So that's why I'm doing this mini training. And I want this to be really relevant and useful to you. So my intention is that you come away from these mini trainings understanding blind spots, what they are, the cause and the cure, that you gain tools that you can use right away to start surpassing your limits and inviting more of what you want in your life, and setting yourself up to receive that. And that you also learn how you can go deeper with whatever that we discover or talk about in these trainings, because for some of you, this is going to be just a scratching the tip of the iceberg, and you'll be excited about the momentum that you can generate and the relief that you can feel right away, but you'll want to really build on that. So since that's what my purpose is about, I'll definitely teach you about some upcoming programs that are coming that you can join in on if you're interested. And I have a 2-day workshop coming up in November very soon, so I'll let you know more about that at the end. If you don't know me, my name is Sonia Miller. I'm a speaker, coach, and best-selling author, and I mentor ambitious, goal-oriented people to surpass their limits with ease and speed. Like I said, I am all about ease, speed, and beyond. And illuminating blind spots is one of the ways that I do this. Another way that I do this is I teach the very natural and powerful skill that most ambitious, goal-oriented people do not have. And that is how to receive. Because what ambitious, goal-oriented people do know how to do, the skill that they do have, is how to hunt and seek and pursue and work hard towards their goals. But if you don't know the balancing skill, which is how do you stop all that hard work and actually receive what you've been working hard for, then what tends to happen is when you don't receive your goals and you're hitting that limit of, I don't know what to do, I've tried everything I know, I've been patient, I've put in my time and put in my dues, what do? We work even harder because we don't know that we're missing a skill. That's part of the blind spot situation. So we illuminate blind spots here. So with that being said, let's go into today's number 3 blind spot. I'm wanting to address the pain that's at the root of this because that way you really can connect with, does this apply to me? So this pain is when you simply don't know how to get what you want. So you want fulfillment in a relationship and you've tried everything you know and you don't know how. How do I do it? And so what we tend to do when we have this blind spot is we tend to approach the problem of how do I do it in hunter mode or human doing mode versus human being mode, which I've talked about in some of the earlier trainings. So what is it that the hunter does? The hunter, by definition, by design, is a seeker. It identifies a target that it wants, the thing that it knows it wants. It identifies it in its head. It's really clear about what it wants, and then it begins to seek. And that's what hunters do. So I call this the seeking blind spot. And you seek and seek and seek and seek and seek and seek and seek. Now, here's the problem with over-relying on seeking when you don't know what else to do. I don't know how to get what I want. Our theme for all of these mini trainings is your consciousness creates your reality. We do a lot of unpacking about how everything in your inner world is the cause of the effect in your outer world. It sets things in motion. And so what happens is when you're in seeker mode, your consciousness that's creating your reality is, I am seeking something because I don't have it. It's the I don't have it. It's the because that creates that consciousness. So when you are seeking, seeking creates more seeking. That's why you'll find yourself on what I call the hard work treadmill. You're working, you're walking, you're seeking, but you never actually get anywhere. Seeking is not the path to your happily ever after. Seeking begets more seeking. Okay, so that becomes a blind spot. You actually think that seeking is the how. Seeking is the way to get the thing you want. But seeking is not the way to get the thing you want. Seeking just gives you more seeking. The way to get the thing you want is to stop the seeking, get off the hard work treadmill, and begin receiving what is already here. And that right there is the heart and soul of what we're going to go into today. When you have this blind spot, your opportunity to end the struggle of not knowing how, and we'll talk about it conceptually, and then we'll talk about concrete examples about how to do this in fulfilling relationships. The key is to shift from seeking what you think you don't have to seeing what is already here. Now, there's a couple other shifts that occur when we are working with this particular blind spot. When you're in hunter mode, you are also operating from, I want to get something. So the human doing thinks that receiving is about getting, capturing, conquering. Now, you may get the goal, you may get the prize that you want, but it does not guarantee lasting fulfillment. As a matter of fact, if you are a relentless seeker, not only does it not guarantee lasting fulfillment, but chances are good that because that's all you know, you'll get the prize, you'll be happy for a little bit, a day, a week, a month. Maybe in relationships, you go through a honeymoon phase, right? You're all excited if this is a romantic relationship, or you have a breakthrough with a family member or a friend, or something feels good for a while. And then, because you think you've figured it out and aha, I got the thing, I got the answer. And then what happens? Life happens. Relationships happen. Relationships are living, breathing things. Okay, you can't kill them because you want them to be there for you, right? And we actually can kill relationships by trying to control them or capture them or fix them. These are all expressions of the human doing. So getting, which is the hunter approach to receiving what we want, actually will sabotage you. So we shift from getting to receiving. What is receiving? Receiving is the land of fulfillment. That's what you're really after. You might think you want achievement, but what you really want is fulfillment. Now, what is fulfillment? Fulfillment are feelings, experiencing, right? It's something that moves through you. I always say you don't achieve fulfilled, you experience fulfilled. Okay? That's what we want. We want fulfilling relationships. And fulfilling relationships, by definition, this is something that you show up to, that you experience moment by moment. How many times do we have relationships where instead of experiencing what's happening right now, we're in our heads about something, we're analyzing something, we're detached or disconnected? You can have a relationship, but it won't be fulfilling. You can have a wedding, but it doesn't mean fulfillment. You can have a marriage, but it doesn't feel fulfillment. We've all had those experiences, right? So what everyone's really after is fulfillment. You don't get fulfilled, you feel fulfilled. So that's another shift when you start moving out of seeking mode to seeing what is already here. There's one more shift that's very important, and that is that in order to surpass your limits, the question of how do I get what I want, understand this. When you're in getting mode, the only thing that you can conceive of is what you know. That's the hunter, by definition, is a solitary journey. You identify a target based on what you know that you want, right? And then you go after it. But here's the thing. If going after what you know in the way that you know would have given you the fulfillment you wanted, you would have gotten there by now. What you really want is beyond what you know. It's beyond the limit. So that means that you need to befriend the unknown. That means you need to develop a relationship with the unknown. And the mind and the human doing doesn't like the unknown. It's scary because what the human doing does by its nature is control. It captures, it conquers, it kills, it controls. That doesn't, the unknown is, you can't control it. You don't even know what it is. So how do you have a relationship with it? Well, most of us are afraid because we don't know how to deal with that. And receiving gives you a way to relate to the unknown. And here's the best part. When you are dealing with the unknown, you become open and receptive to access beyond what you know, beyond your wildest imagination, beyond better than you ever imagined. That's on the other side of your upper limit. So that's what we're talking about today. That is the path. So how do you do this? That's the big question today. How do you do this? Well, this is one of my passions. I teach the 3-step receive method, which is the counterbalance to go out and get it, hunt and seek. Receiving is receive what is here. Remember, seeing what is already here. Receive what is here. And as you do, see what's revealed and see what's revealed. When you manifest from a human doing point of view, you seek and find out there. When you operate from receiving, you receive what is here, right now, present moment, experience it fully in your body, in your feelings, and as you do, and it moves through you, like the majestic tree that receives all of life. The majestic tree receives everything it needs and probably much of what it wants, if it even wants anything, simply by being. It's a being, not a doing. And it is taken care of. It doesn't hunt, it doesn't seek, it doesn't identify targets, it doesn't analyze anything. That's the skill that we get to practice. And it's the easiest thing in the world because we are human beings. That's actually what we are. We've just disconnected from it because we've learned human doingness as a way to move through the world and often to survive. So this 3-step receive method has these 3 components. ALI, awareness, let it be here, invite more or better. So let's talk about how this applies to fulfilling relationships. Remember how I had you think about a relationship that you would like to know how to receive or manifest, or a place that you'd like to experience more fulfillment? Let that be here in your awareness. And even if I don't talk about specifically what you're looking for, see how this applies, because these are universal concepts. So let's talk about, for example, I've started all of my trainings this week with romantic relationship, whether you don't have one and you want one, or you're in one and it's not going so great. Okay, now, as a human doing, when you're thinking, how do I get what I want, right? You start to analyze, right? You might start to research and ask friends and read books, right? And then you're going to be asking, which we talked about in blind spot number 1, what do I do, right? So you might get strategic, or you might look for the right words, or you might go on dating sites to be problem or solution oriented, or you'll rely on all kinds of tactics and strategies, right? So the first step is to become aware that you're problem solving. That's the A. Just become aware that you're in seeking mode. And then you stop. Now, part of it is to really open up the space to discover everything that you're aware of in that moment. And these are usually kind of the things that I encourage people to think about. Become aware of everything that you want. Become aware of everything that you don't want. Become aware of your feelings. Become aware of your expectations. So I'll just throw out some examples that I have seen over many years of coaching. So romantic relationship. I'm aware that I want to meet the one. I'm aware that I think I need to figure out how to do it. I'm aware that I don't want to have more of the same experiences in the past. I'm aware that, let's see, what else? That I feel like I need to lose weight. I'm aware that I don't know where to begin. I'm aware that I hate dating sites. I'm aware that I hate getting set up. I'm aware that I'm really shy and I don't like to go out, to meet people or to meetups or whatever. I'm aware that, let's talk about feelings. I'm feeling discouraged. I'm feeling hopeless. I'm aware that I believe that I'm too old. I believe that there's no good people out there that are going to be my match. I'm aware that I'm too broken. So those are some feelings, right? So now I'm naming the feelings, but part of what we do is we also sense in the body, and you can feel the feelings. So you learn how to become aware of that. But we'll talk a little bit more about that. So we talked about wants. We talked about some don't wants. We talked about expectations. We talked about what you think you have to do. So you really can do this on paper or in your awareness. You can speak it to yourself. You can speak it out loud. But what you're wanting to do is dump it all out. All right? You want to get to the point that there's nothing left. Now, what is happening when we do this? Okay? What you're doing is everything that's in seeking mode, all of this problem solving and analysis and worry and thoughts and feelings that are swirling, what's happening is They are swirling in the space that is you and your life that you need open and available in which to receive something new. If the space that is you, that is your life, is full of worry and problem solving and seeking and hunting, that's what you're receiving. That's what you're manifesting. Everything that you know that you're struggling with. You're receiving the struggle, you're receiving the problem solving, so that's what you're receiving right now. When you become aware of it, all right, and then you move into L, let it be here. That allows all of this swirl to land. So if you're writing this all out, all of your awarenesses, which is what I recommend, then you let it land, and you would literally write the words, I let this be here. You can be saying it out loud. You say to yourself, I let this be here. And you take some breath. All of this can now start to land. You can think of them as leaves blowing in the wind, swirling, and then they can finally land. Now, what happens when all of this problem solving and seeking, hunting lands? You've now begun to open up a space. That space becomes empty, so you let it land. All of those concerns about romantic relationship and how to and feelings and expectations, they finally land. Breathe, breathe, close your eyes, just let it land. You will see, maybe quickly, maybe a little bit later, that there will be usually some relief, a little bit more spaciousness. And in that spaciousness now, space is the invitation. Hunters have intentions. They seek and they find. Majestic trees are embodied invitations. Everything that is of the human beingness is the invitation. Because when you are being, when you're no longer hunting, then the wanting can cease and the having can be revealed. What is already here to see, that's always been here, can be revealed because your seeking lenses have fallen away and you can look around. That becomes the invitation. This then translates to you become available emotionally, mentally, even in your actions for next possibilities that life is offering you in relationships. What does that look like? You might find yourself willing to do something you weren't willing to do before. You might get a friend giving you a phone call. Hey, let's go out. And you meet somebody. You might say, you know what? I'm done thinking about this. I'm going to go for a walk. And you go for a walk and you strike up a conversation with somebody over coffee. All kinds of things can now come in because the space has opened up. So that's the L, let it be here. Okay. The final piece is I, invitation. So, like I said, the majestic tree is an embodied invitation. It just stands there. What does that look like when you're a human being? Well, your mind, instead of being in seeking problem-solving mode, simply asks a question. When you ask a question, your mind is receptive now. When you're seeking an answer and problem-solving, you're not receptive. You're looking. But when you ask a question and just let that question be here in your awareness, your mind can now receive answers that match that question. So really easy ones are, okay, I've let all my awarenesses land. I've allowed the space to be here. What else is possible now? That's a great question. How does it get even better than this? That's another great question. And one of my favorite types of invitation is a willingness statement. I am willing to discover how a romantic relationship is possible for me. I'm willing to believe that manifesting a fulfilling relationship can be easy. I'm willing to be shown the way. I'm willing to see the signs. I'm willing to feel more comfortable with this process. I'm willing to believe I'm attractive enough. I'm willing to discover how this is so. Okay? I am open and receptive. Life, show me the way. So you just become an invitation. And when you ask a question, don't go looking for an answer. Just know that the invitation's been extended, and you are now the majestic tree, an embodied invitation. ALI, the 3-step method to receive your fulfillment by unlearning the struggle of over-relying on the doing model of power. Many people will say, well, great, so I've done that, now what? Then here's the action part. Do what's in front of you. That's it. Do what's in front of you. You are an embodied invitation. You're no longer in hunter mode. Do what's in front of you and then start seeing what is here. You get to practice this as a way of life, and this is what allows you to become a fortunate receiver. A fortunate receiver rather than a hard worker, hunter. Okay? This is what allows you to unlearn struggle and receive. This little skill set is an inch wide and 10 million miles deep. And I'll tell you, for the clients, the students that I have had practice this, it is so fun and so rewarding to see all kinds of things that manifest for them. I had, when I've had some people say, they'll start meeting romantic potential partners in unexpected ways. It just happens easily. I remember one woman who said when she started practicing this and unlearning the struggle, she said her family was going to be coming to visit out of the blue after 22 years. They initiated it. It was completely out of the blue. Children that have had disconnect with their parents. I've heard parents say, my kids, they started asking me questions and initiating contact and fun activities. I didn't have to do anything, right? So this kind of stuff happens all the time. So you can apply the very same ALI for any type of relationship, whether it's a family relationship, a work relationship, platonic relationships. Just start with the A, everything you're aware of, write it down or say it out loud. Empty, empty, empty. I'm aware of this, and I'm aware of this, and I'm aware of this, and I'm aware of this. What you want, what you don't want, expectations, beliefs, what you think is required. Dump it, dump it, dump it. When there's nothing left, take a breath. I let this be here, and really, really let it be here. It will land. Things will soften. There will be some space. And then, what else is possible now? I am willing to believe that a solution will be revealed, can be revealed easily. Then do what's in front of you. So that is how you shift from seeking what you think is not here to seeing what is already here. So by letting the problem solving, the seeking land, and becoming freed up from shifting from getting to receiving, from trying to get what you want out of what you know into how to invite the unknown through being an invitation, through letting the problem solving fall and rest. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, please like, please share. It helps me reach the people that I'm here to serve. And I wanted to give you some possible next steps if you'd like to build on this and learn how it applies to other areas of your life. So next week, I'm doing a brand new topic, and I can't remember which one it was. I think it was work and money, but I'll let you know for sure. And the way you can know for sure is join the Receive community. It's growing. It's the place for you to learn how to receive your fulfillment by unlearning struggle. Lots of nurturing, like-minded people and great tips every single day to help you practice what we're talking about here today. So I'll include a link to that. Just go to facebook.com/groups/Receive community. And I'm very excited to share that in November 20th and 23rd, I am offering a 2-day workshop, Surpass Your Limits in 2022. So this is going to set you up for a powerful new year, peace, power, and the predictability that comes from having the right tools and the right awarenesses to surpass your limits. So I hope you'll join me there. You can register. Doors are open. SurpassYourLimitsWorkshop.com. Receive community, workshops on the way, and more free mini trainings Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you at the next Rise and Receive. Bye, everybody.